what are we cooking today? Or better yet, what's for lunch? For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Nadia Becker, and this is Nadia Cooks. Everyone, welcome to the show. Today I have the pleasure of talking to Julia Perugini. Julia is our baker, chief executive officer, president, principal, everything of Julia's Cookies. And while I'm in New York, Julia is in Arizona, and she's going to tell us all her story about how she left Brazil and she ended up there. From the time I know Julia, she was in New York. So Julia, it's a pleasure having you here. Please tell us more about your story.
Thank you for having me. I think it's going to be like 12 years. I moved to the United States. And 2008 was a crisis in Brazil, not just in Brazil, everywhere. And I ended up leaving my job in Brazil. Well, they fired me because they want me to relocate and a couple of the things that I did not agree. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, I'm single, I'm still young. I was 25. And I think that's a good time to try something else. I have family in New York, my aunt, so she say, why don't you come and stay, just go to English school and see what you want to do. And I just end up coming. That's how it happened.
That's fine. That's easy and it's fun. I think many of us really wanted it. We wish we had an aunt like yours that would say, just come over. You're going to have some fun. You're going to love it. But Julia, so you moved to New York, and have you always been baking? And have you cooked in Brazil? Did you bake in Brazil? Did you bring it over? Did you learn from scratch? Where did you start? How did your passion happen?
Well, I always like to eat. I always love sweets. So growing up in Brazil was and as you know, we always cook in the house, mm-hmm. breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So everybody knew how to cook, I guess. Just cleaning your house and put stuff away. And then you cook and then, you do everything that you have to do. But my grandma was a very good cook, and she liked to cook and baking, and my great-grandma. And we always have food. So I even have another cousin. He is actually a chef. Everybody in the family likes to cook, and everybody, we always cook together. Things like that was just normal. I never thought about cooking or baking as being something special. Mm-hmm. Because it was just normal. Just was everyday things, that you do in a house every day. But I grew up doing it. And once I moved to New York, I realized there was value on what I already knew. And that value was not there when I was in Brazil. I never mm-hmm. saw what I knew as a valuable tool, mm-hmm. something that I could even make money of it. Mm-hmm. And live of it,
Yes. And so, you make money and then you live of what you love the most. But I have to tell you, look, technically, most people in Brazil grow up knowing how to cook and how to bake. But Julia, we are not as artsy and very detail oriented. And look, I can work with fondant. I cannot work with buttercream and royal icing like you do. Did you have to work a lot on the techniques, or did you came here knowing already how to decorate cakes and making all the...
No, I did not. That's what I'm saying. I knew that I liked to bake and cook, but I did not see much of it. I have no clue what else could I learn, I could learn. So eventually, as a lot of us come to America, you do all kinds of work, right? Mm-hmm. You walk dogs and clean, babysitting and everything else in between. And once I realized that people actually care a lot about whatever you do in the kitchen, it was wow, can you make a cake from scratch? Uh-huh. And I was can't you? You can't? No? Oh, okay. So I started to realize that these things was a little bit more special here. But once I realized there was potential in it, I started to try more and trying to learn and practice more. Mm-hmm. I never, ever heard of royal ice in Brazil. I have no clue what it was. So uh-huh. I have no idea. I knew buttercream, mm-hmm. Fondant and things like that. But I fell in love with royal icing maybe 7 years ago, and I started practicing and trying to learn, and just by trying, the first time that you do is horrible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not something that I couldn't find a class. I tried. It was difficult to find a class. Mm-hmm. And then when I got classes, they're super expensive, and mm-hmm. I was not in a situation to spend $500-$600 in a class. Yeah. So I say, you know what? I'm gonna buy a lot of sugar, and I'm gonna waste them all until I get better. So that's how I learned.
And Julie, it's funny. One of the chef instructors at culinary school, she said, look, you guys don't have to worry when you're baking or when you're decorating with sugar, right? Because technically sugar is cheap. If you're going to spend money on a lobster and you ruin that lobster or that steak, you will cry. But with sugar, just like you said, you can buy as much as you want. You can make mistakes. It is not the end of the world, right? But Julia, so you started with royal icing. And I have to say, in Brazil, all I had the experience was with merengue, right? So we know how to make merengues. We grow up making merengues. It's easy. It's the only way we know how to decorate things. Yeah. But how easy or how hard it is for colors to be made with royal icing?
Well, it doesn't matter if it's royal icing or buttercream or cake or, even sugar art, whatever you do with colors, it's always a challenge. You got to kind of get used to color chart and then, just trying different colors, because even the same color for different brands, they do not behave the same way on the icing.
Okay.
So, and you can never, ever, ever make the same color twice. So whenever you're making an ice, you just make sure you have enough to finish the job, because to do again, you might get very close to the color, but it's almost impossible to get exactly the same shade twice. And also another thing is, if you pipe your cookie now, and then you pipe another cookie in a little bit later, they might come out with different colors, because the drying time affects the color and how dark it is or how light it is. And if you want to stain those cookies at the same time, depending on the color, even if they same batch of cookies, but if you want dry to, let's say you made one now and the next one you're going to make later, it might be different shades.
So, Julia, you were telling me before, and I love the story of how, remember, we were just talking about in the beginning, like how everyone in Brazil, technically, we know how to cook, we know how to bake, we all bake our cakes. And then once you got your first order for a cake and then your daughter was old enough, she looked at you and she said, Mommy, why are these people buying cakes? Can they not make it? No. Do you teach her how to make cake? Does she help you? Does she like to be in the kitchen? Or does she like to eat more?
She loves to be in the kitchen. She loves to be in the kitchen. She wants to help. Of course, if I'm making a order, she can't be around because that would be against the law. But, whenever I'm making stuff for the house, like this weekend, we had friends had a birthday, so we made cupcakes to send as a gift. And she want to help with that. She loves and she tells people that everywhere that she goes, my mom is the best baker. And she was on TV.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to ask. So you've been on Food Network, you've been on your local channels many times. How has fame affected you? Or you haven't been affected by fame? You've been the same.
Well, I'm not famous. I wish I was famous enough and making money of it to be famous.
You're doing what you love, so it's okay, right?
It's not that bad. Well, when it is, sometimes people recognizing me, and it was twice, I think, like at Walmart. I don't know why only people at Walmart know who I am. Just after the Holiday Baking Championship was on, I think it was the second or third episode or something like that. And I was there getting vegetables or something, and this lady came to me and she said, oh, I saw you, you're so nice and cute, we really want you to win the show, can I have a picture of you? I was like on my pajamas like everybody else. Right? And I was like, no, like I have my Christmas pajama on pretty much, and I was so in shock, and I said, okay, sure. And I was like, that's horrible. I didn't know what to do. I didn't expect,
Of course, and Julia, especially because think about it. In Brazil, we get dressed to go downstairs to the supermarket or the bake shop, right?
Oh, yes.
In the United States, you're used to going in lounge pants.
Nobody cares. And in Brazil, like you say, in Brazil, you put a high heel to go to the grocery store. Here, you barely put something on so you're not naked, So nobody cares.
But Julia, also, we were talking before, and you were telling me how fun, and you had much fun before the pandemic. You're teaching kids and parents to bake and to decorate cookies and cakes. But as the pandemic hit, everyone is reinventing themselves, right? So now I was super happy to see on Instagram when you started with the cookies of the month, or it's a monthly subscription. Tell us more about the new ways that your business is going to pick it up now.
Yeah, so Julia's Cookies is like, as it is now, is a home bakery, right? On the state of Arizona, which is legal here. So we have a home bakery and we sell cookies, and any baked goods basically, but my specialty is the cookies, right? And then we start giving classes. I have been doing classes for a while now, but I used to do even bigger classes. Now I started doing smaller ones. I was doing smaller ones, and I was hosting a class every month in my house, which was super fun for about 12 people, 16 people. And the pandemic started and then we can't do no more, right? And so it's super sad. It was also a reflection time. I have time to reflect on the business and see what I want to do. And there's a lot of changes coming up. Even the name is going to change. A lot of things going to change. But I started just to see how it goes with cookies, subscription. No, it's not a subscription yet. It will be, though. Mm-hmm. It's just a cookie of the month, a cookie box of the month. And will be a few flavors, 2 or 3 flavors every month. Because I probably have like 60 or 70 my own just my own recipes. And I want to the people. So each month is going to be different flavors. So if you have a subscription, you're not going to be getting the same thing, sugar cookie every month. You're going to get molasses cookies. You're going to get the bigger cookies.
Yeah. You have to trademark that before anyone trademarks it.
I always say that, and I never do until someone is going to do it before me, but they don't have the recipe. I can change the name anytime. So it's going to be different cookies, different flavors every month. And I just think it's so much to explore about flavors in cookies, and just so easy to make delicious flavors. So I want to share that with everybody. So yeah,
that's changing. Nice. Yeah. So we really, really like to hear that. Everyone, they will start following you if they haven't yet. And so we can see what's happening next. So Julia, thank you so much for your time. Before we go, tell us your Instagram. It's Julia's Cookies NYC or NY?
NYC, that's right. Julia's Cookies NYC. So Julia's with S, Cookies with S, NYC, for New York City. But like I say, it might be a change soon, but follow me there and I will be posting, whenever the change coming. Hopefully soon.
Yes, and everyone who is listening, Julia is with a J. We speak just very close in English to the Julia in Italian, but it's Julia.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
Julia, thank you so much for coming. It was a pleasure talking to you and listening to your fun stories. We really hope that the monthly subscription picks up soon so we can have boxes all over the country, just saying. Don't forget the people in New York, okay? Pack them very nicely.
Oh, yeah, but you guys can already order if you want to. It's already there. It's just it's going to be changing a few things. But like I say, as this now, it's already possible to order. It's just going to be a name change and a model of the business going to change a little bit. But the cookies is going to be still delicious.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We appreciate again, everyone. This was Julia Perugini and I'm Nadia Cook. Thank you so much for listening. Julia, you have to do what everyone does on the podcast. You have to tell us your weekly menu.
My weekly menu?
Yeah. Do you remember what you cooked last week?
Last week? My food or my cookies?
Your food. Your cookies we're going to follow on Instagram. Don't worry. That will be drooling.
Okay. So I made yesterday okra.
Okay.
And chicken,
okay.
How to say that?
Very Brazilian chicken with okra.
I cook every day, so I just don't keep track of it. I think I made, breakfast counts.
Breakfast counts.
Yeah, this week we have a very delicious French toast with, homemade challah bread.
Yes.
It's fancy, I guess. Rice and beans we had for sure every week.
Of course. With pepper steak, right?
Oh my God, yes.
Rice, beans, steak, and French fries if we can.
Yeah, I didn't have the French fries, but I did have all the vegetables.
And vegetables, yes. No feijoada, it's too hot, right?
Oh, it's too hot. In Arizona, it was like 108 2 days ago. Can't do that.
No, just salad.
Yeah. No, we will. It's getting cool now. Today is only 100, so very soon we're going to have feijoada.
Very soon you'll be down to 88. And
we're going to have to wear sweaters because if it goes down to 80 here, everybody has boots and sweaters.
No!
I promise.
That's funny. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Julia, again. We'll see you next time.